Mayor, members of council, my name is Gary Fader. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Hush Blackwell Sanders. I am one of the attorneys for Wings. As I understood the format for this evening, following the presentation by the applicant, the mayor indicated there would be opportunity for public comment, followed by some type of rebuttal opportunity for the applicant, and then an opportunity for council questions of the applicant. Before we move to that phase, I did want to make sure, for the record, that the slides that were offered by the representative from Alvarezi were included in the record. I think they are, Mr. City Attorney, but I just want to make sure that these are marked and included in the record. The slides that are in a hard form, but also presented earlier this evening. May I proceed, Mr. City Attorney?
Yes,
Thank you.
report.
Yes, that's correct. Wings Enterprises conditional use permit application March 2nd, 2000.
Yes.
Members of council, I'm going to try to be the lawyer with the shortest of marks by far this evening. So let me again try to be as brief as I can. I'm obviously not the attorney for the city. You need to take your advice as to the significance of the zoning matter from your city attorney and not me. But I've been an attorney for 35 years. All of it has been spent in the real estate field, and particularly in the area of zoning. It is my understanding that what you are looking at tonight under your city ordinances is the distinction between permitted use and a conditional use. A permitted use being one that is essentially automatically granted as long as the party complies with building requirements. A conditional use permit is one which your zoning ordinance has established as the use that is most likely going to be acceptable. It doesn't require rezoning. It is zoned for that purpose, but there is a responsibility to impose conditions that you believe appropriate to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the community. The language that's been mentioned tonight is worth repeating in terms of your duty, and that is it's the duty of the City Planning Commission and the City Council to give consideration to the effect of the requested use on health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the residents of the area in the vicinity of the property in question and the residents of the city generally. Well, I would simply suggest to you that you have done that to a very great degree, not only this evening, but in the weeks, months, and perhaps the year that has preceded. You have given, whether you are supportive of this measure or in opposition to it, you have made an incredible effort to do just that, to give consideration to these factors. That is what the scope of your responsibility is. I believe you've done that. You've obviously done it tonight. You gave unlimited opportunity for every speaker here tonight to present it. You established a time limit but chose not to enforce it, and I applaud you for that. You gave everyone a chance to say everything they wanted to say. Everything that was presented tonight, every question is in the record. Every one of those questions has been answered previously in writing. It is all part of the record. Although it wasn't mentioned tonight, and your city attorney, who is not here tonight, answered, I think, every legal question that was raised. Our representatives deal with every single issue, nor are you supposed to try to regulate every aspect of this. Your job is to look at and to do exactly what your ordinance says, and that is to consider these 7 factors. Have you done that? Certainly, I think the city has done that again, very explicitly. Your planning commission, your planning and zoning, not only your staff, your planning and zoning commission has looked at each one of those 7 points set out in your ordinance. And as I believe you know, the planning commission goes through every one of those points and gives a detailed and supportive answer with reference to this project. Again, there's been criticism made of various city staff members as to the credibility of the work, but every one of your staff members has responded to each one of the points that the zoning ordinance calls for. They've gone down it, they've got the logical person. If it was a traffic matter, they've gone to the person who's responsible for traffic in their city. If it's a police matter, they've gone to the person who's responsible for police matters. So that is the nature of the report that we've given. It's come here with a unanimous recommendation. I've dealt with Mr. Young and Mr. Sweeney in the past. Mr. Young, in fact, is my former law partner. They're people who I respect. And I respect most of all that at the end of both of their remarks, having criticized everything they could about it, they focused on what additional conditions might be added to this request. Whether you agree with them or not, I think they finally got it right at the end of their comments, because what this is about is if you're not satisfied with all the conditions and you believe there should be another condition, add it. Do what you can that is consistent with this ordinance. But that, I believe, is your job. You've gotten a lot of direction from planning and zoning in support of this measure, and I've asked you to go ahead and vote for this, approve the conditional use permit, and you will again follow your ordinances, and I think you will have created a very exceptional use for the city. And I thank you for your time.
Mr. Moonier?
Thank you, Mayor Shilley. It's not my intention to argue with any of the points that were made tonight. I just want to draw the council's attention to some of the documents that are in the record that were referenced by Mr. Fader. There is 2 opinion letters from our firm specifically addressing some legal matters that we felt needed to be discussed. One was, and the issue was raised by several people, inconsistencies that they felt was in the zoning ordinance. We have an opinion letter in the record for that. I'm not going to argue the points now, but it is in the record. We also have an opinion letter concerning the easement that is running over that PPG property that was addressed tonight. That's also contained in the record. There was also brought up about several lawsuits that are currently pending against the city. To our knowledge, there's no stays or any type of injunctions ordered against the city from moving forward. So it's our opinion that the city can rightfully move forward on this conditional use permit application. There was also brought up something about the air emissions and what the city can and cannot regulate above and beyond federal law. Our opinion is specifically set forth in the written report, and we just asked you to review that as you got an adverse opinion on that. Our recommendation and our opinion is specifically set forth in that written report by the Planning and Zoning Commission. In addition, you have heard some comments about the application that was filed by Wings, that it wasn't filed properly or that it had some deficiencies. We reviewed that application along with the building commissioner. They proposed all, and we didn't find any deficiencies in that application, and we felt it was properly before the Planning and Zoning Commission before they acted on it. That's the only comments that I had, Mayor Shilley, and you're certainly welcome to open it up to the council now for any questions they may have of the applicant.
Thank you, Mr. Moonier. I will open the floor up to the council members if they have any questions for the applicant. Welcome to Mr. Niemeyer.
My name is Debbie McKenna, and I have given a copy of this memorandum to all members of the council and to the mayor and to the city clerk as record custodian. And there are just a few things that I want to go over from the planning and zoning's written report to the city council, and then I have a couple things to add. I will do this as quickly as possible. I'm just going to read from my memo. And if you have the planning and zoning's recommendation out, you can follow along with that too. On page 2, under traffic in the streets,